DeSantis and the Florida Board of Education are insisting on including in the state's newly adopted teaching standard, which is 200 plus pages. It's related to African American history for middle schoolers. It will be taught that, quote, slaves developed skills which in some instances could be applied for their personal benefit. Now, immediate backlash from Vice President Kamala Harris and various civil rights leaders was expected. But Congressman Donalds chimed in to both express his support for the new standards and just take issue with a small part of it. He said the new African American standards in Florida are good, robust, and accurate. That being said, the attempt to feature the personal benefits of slavery is wrong and needs to be adjusted. That obviously wasn't the goal, and I have faith that the FLDOE will correct this. It's hardly a liberal rebuke. But DeSantis and his aides just couldn't let it go. They went on the attack, assailing Donalds. DeSantis' press secretary responding, did Kamala Harris write this tweet? And there's this one from DeSantis' Department of Education commissioner. This new curriculum is based on truth. We will not back down from teaching our nation's true history at the behest of a woke White House, nor at the behest of a supposedly conservative congressman. A reporter asked DeSantis about the dust-up during a campaign event in Iowa today.
This little dust-up between the campaign and Byron Donalds, is that helpful, though?
So, at the end of the day, you got to choose. Are you going to side with Kamala Harris and liberal media outlets? Or are you going to side with the state of Florida?
Really? You got to choose on that one line? So now the very conservative Byron Donalds is aligned with Kamala Harris and liberals because he thinks that line should be taken out? According to Ron DeSantis, apparently so.
And you now have people like Kamala Harris trying to perpetuate a hoax saying that these African American history scholars, many of whom were black, some of them who descended from slaves, are creating a curriculum saying it was good? Are you kidding me? Who believes such nonsense?
Except nobody is saying Florida is teaching that slavery was good. They're saying that including the bit about slaves learning skills that benefited them is irrelevant and insulting. Even if it's true, it's not necessary to include. You don't have to put any kind of positive spin on slavery. It might be true that some Jews learned skills while they were in concentration camps out of necessity to survive, just like some slaves were forced to learn skills when they were held in bondage. Doesn't mean you have to make it part of the curriculum for 11, 12, and 13-year-olds and suggesting it was somehow beneficial. It also doesn't mean that you have to go to the mat to defend it. But DeSantis dug in. And I asked at the top if maybe DeSantis has jumped the shark. It's a saying that comes from an old show I used to love called Happy Days, and specifically from a later episode. When the show's popularity was waning a bit, in an effort to gin up some renewed interest, Henry Winkler's lead character, the Fonz, literally jumped over a shark while water skiing. It was not the finest moment in an otherwise very popular hit show. And years later, jumping the shark would become a pejorative for when something that was going very well at one point, executed an act of desperation in an attempt to regain that success, but instead was the beginning of the end. Happy Days did hold on for a few years after that episode. But you have to wonder if this is that moment for Ron. It's such a dumb fight to have with Byron Donalds, a fellow very conservative Republican from Florida who supports virtually every initiative of DeSantis. The one difference being that Byron Donalds happens to be a person of color, and he thinks, as many, many others do, that this one line was dumb to include. DeSantis could take a step back, listen to what Donalds had to say, at least show respect for his opinion, even if he says, I disagree with him. Or he could decide that he needs this fight, and maybe do what Fonzie did. Joining us now, John Ziegler, conservative commentator and host of the Death of Journalism podcast. John, good to see you here. All right, you have long been a Ron DeSantis supporter. I should say long. You've been a Ron DeSantis supporter. Am I overreacting here in your opinion, or is this just a horrible decision that DeSantis is trying to have this fight with Donalds?
Well, I agree that this is a bad fight to have for slightly different reasons than you do. As far as the jump the shark, I love the graphic. I actually think that the real jump shark moment was when DeSantis said that RFK Jr. might be part of his administration. That, to me, was a real jump the shark moment as a conservative supporter of Ron DeSantis. But I want to push back a little bit on your assessment of how this story began, because I think that the mainstream media was not nearly as rational as you were in your analysis of this. So I think the mainstream media effectively allied themselves with Vice President Harris.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.